Welcome to the Limitless Podcast. The Limitless Podcast is centered around exactly that, being limitless. Hunting, fishing, fitness, nutrition, adventure, disabilities. What may be covered during the Limitless Podcast will be, well, limitless. Stay tuned for this episode of the Limitless Podcast. Hey everyone, this is Aaron Ritter, host of the Limitless Podcast. This is going to be different for me today because I'm recording a solo episode. The first episode, the inaugural episode of the Limitless Podcast. What is this podcast going to be about? Well, that's the opening statement question. What is this going to be? It is going to be exactly what the title of my podcast is, Limitless. We're going to cover a lot of different topics and material, and I'm really excited about this. Although I spend most of my time deer and turkey hunting, archery, backcountry. That's what I really love to do. And through all of that, not necessarily turkey hunting, I tree saddle hunt. I love to hunt out of a tree saddle. For those that know me, you know that if I'm not on the ground run and gun style, I am finding a tree to put a single stick on, climbing up to a height required for the hunt, and I'm pursuing deer or elk. Whether I'm 100 yards from the truck or I'm several miles in, I tree saddle hunt. This podcast is not going to be pigeonholed in the topic of tree saddles or backcountry hunting. I might talk about it a lot, but it certainly is not going to be pigeonholed. What else will we discuss? I want to talk about fishing. I have a kayak, and I absolutely love fishing out of my kayak, be it largemouth bass. Contrary to popular belief in Florida, that's not good eating fish, but some people like to eat it. But I love fishing for largemouth bass, catch and release. Panfish. I love bluegill and crappie. Crappie tacos are amazing. I like to fish brackish water and salt water. Puppy drum are a blast out of a kayak. Striped bass or striper. White perch. I also like fishing out of a regular boat as well, and I'll bank fish, but kayak fishing to me is a lot of fun. I can get on water that does not allow motorized craft. I can also get up into cuts and creeks where most boats are not able to get into, and I have some really quality fishing by myself or maybe with another yacker. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about gear. We're going to talk about archery gear, hunting gear, firearms, and firearms accessories. We're going to discuss kayak carts, e-bikes, e-bike carts, deck systems for the bed of trucks. We're going to talk about bed systems. We're going to talk about bed covers, bed racks. We're going to talk about all about that. We're going to talk to guys that are in endurance sports. Why? Well, because I love to run, and I have been known to run an ultra when I get the bug. And because one thing that distance runners know about is nutrition. How does that apply to the Limitless Podcast? Well, I like to backcountry hunt. I hunt hard. Nutrition is just as important as your boot selection, as your layering selection, as the ammunition or the arrow that you use for your weapon of choice, your sleep system, your water filter. Nutrition is key. So we're going to talk about nutrition. I happen to be wearing a t-shirt right now of one of my favorite nutrition companies. We're going to talk about them in a minute. We're going to talk about all those things. More importantly, if you as a listener has a topic that you want to discuss, you're going to send me an email, or you're going to reach out to me in some way, shape, or form, leave a message on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. However you want to send that smoke signal, you send a topic to me. And if we have a mutual interest, then we're going to record an episode on it. I don't necessarily have to be the expert on it. This is not what this podcast is about. This podcast is about being limitless and learning and growing. So if there's a topic out there that I do not have a depth of knowledge on, then we will find somebody that does. We're going to host them on the show and we're going to learn together. I'm really, really looking forward to that. What else is going to happen? Well, one thing is, if you're watching this or listening to this on YouTube, you're going to see the wall behind me. You're going to watch as my office space and my podcast space, it's kind of like the one and the same. You're going to watch that morph and grow with the show. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that process with you guys as well. So let's talk about sponsors. Who is backing the Limitless podcast? Now, the first thing and most important thing that I want you to understand about these sponsorships is the Limitless podcast is not being paid. I am not under contract by anybody. All of the costs associated with this podcast are covered under the canopy of Limitless Outdoors. That means that all of the funds required to host and run and publish a podcast is being covered by me, not a company, not a contract. My sponsors that I have backing this show are here for you. Now, they happen to be companies that I truly believe in, and not just in one aspect. These companies provide, they make, they distribute a product that I use, that I trust, and that I believe in. And also, I like what these companies stand for. So we're going to start with the first one, Hunting Day Coffee. I met Stephen Robbins at the ATA, his wife and his friends, and I sampled their coffee, and then I drank their coffee. And for the duration of the ATA, I probably had about 5 cups of coffee a day. And those weren't just little sample cups either. We're talking 12, 20-ounce cups of coffee. I just drank it all day long. They are based out of Virginia. They are a hunting family. Stephen does have his own podcast that we're going to encourage him to try to be a little more active with. Hint, hint, Stephen. More importantly, Stephen and his family are a very faithful family. And I want everybody to understand that I am a man of faith. And we will discuss that during my show. We will preach it loud on the mountain. Stephen, thank you for supporting the Limitless podcast. If you go to the Hunting Day Coffee website, Be Limitless 10 will get you 10% discount off of your order. Next up, one of my favorites, Phelps game calls. Yes, I'm wearing the hat. Yes, I could be considered a Phelps fanboy. Yes, I use their elk calls. Yes, I use their deer calls. Yes, I use their turkey calls. No, I do not use any waterfowl calls because I'm not a waterfowl guy. However, that does not mean that we will not have any shows covering waterfowl, because I know there's a lot of waterfowl folks out there. So again, we'll circle back to that. Let's focus on Mr. Phelps. Jason Phelps and Dirk Durham are incredible men. They're leaders of the outdoor industry. They're very positive, and they produce high quality calls for hunters that want to be successful in their endeavors. Be Limitless 20 will get you 20% discount on one order at Phelps. So when you use that code, make sure that you're ready to buy several calls, a t-shirt and a hat, whatever it is that you want and need. Don't use it on one diaphragm because it's a one-time code right now. So use it wisely. Be Limitless 20 at Phelps Game Calls. The next one, this one's exciting. On Point Adventure Foods. Justin Oust met the owner at the NRA Great American Outdoor Show this last February. Justin and his wife have a freeze-dried food company out of Pennsylvania. Again, a family, a business that is faith-oriented. I love it. Their food is incredible. I have sampled it at the show. I had a meal out of my tree saddle at the Latitude booth. I have packed it in and had it in the backcountry. Low sodium, high protein. It tastes home cooked. They use ingredients that are sourced right out of their own state from local farmers and local 4-H groups. This is an incredible company. They are providing a listener code, Be Limitless 10. This will get you 10% off any order. It's a perpetual code. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, On Point Adventure Foods. Next up, this is a big one. There's a company out there that I've associated with that are not only supporting the Limitless podcast, but they also support my nonprofit, my 501c3, the A3G initiative. This is Vortex Optics. I am a huge fan of Vortex. Vortex does not deal directly with the consumer. So they have provided a gracious 25% discount code to you as the listener that you use at Euro Optics. That code is VTXLMTLS25. I'm going to say that again. The Vortex code for 25% off your order at Euro Optics is VTXLMTLS25. Vortex Optics is great glass, unconditional, lifetime warranty, and their customer service is stellar. If you're not using Vortex Optics, I strongly recommend that you give it solid consideration. Thank you, Vortex. The next one is Wilderness Athlete. Wilderness Athlete is a nutrition company, and they also host some other brands of foods. Mainly, they call it their edibles page, meaning, and it's not edibles related to CBD at all. It's edibles as in snacks and food sources for camping and backpacking. But their nutrition products are fantastic. Their hydration and focus mix, you can get it in their actual hero pack, or you can buy it separately, mix them together yourself, which is what I do. It is a great hydration source, a solid pick-me-up. I use their multivitamin packs. It's called the Good Stuff. I take that every single day. They have pre-workout mixes, both caffeinated and non-caffeinated. They have creatine. They have the green stuff, which is your powdered greens for a mix. I use that as well. I don't want to dive too deep into it right now because they have been a part of a big physical nutrition change in my life recently. We're going to have a full episode on that. But Wilderness Athlete, 20% off. That is Be Limitless 20 at their website. Thank you, Wilderness Athlete, for supporting the show. Last but not least, for right now, is the Love Sauce. The Love Sauce is a hot sauce company. The Love Sauce is owned by a friend of mine from the Navy. He's still active for a few more months, Harry Aladdin. Harry picked up this hot sauce company from his late brother, and he's making a run at some high quality hot sauces. Discount code is BLimitless10. That will get you a 10% discount code on an order of $12 or more. So how many sponsors is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6 sponsors. This is episode 1 of the Limitless Outdoors, of the Limitless podcast, based under Limitless Outdoors. 6 companies are backing this show for you with incredible listener discounts. Now remember, Be Limitless has to be spelled correctly. Anytime you're using Limitless associated with the Limitless podcast or Limitless Outdoors, it is spelled LIMBITLESS. These listener codes will not be shared in black and white in the details of the podcast. They will not be found on my website. They will not be found on the link tree or bio of Instagram. Why? Because there are nefarious people out there on the webs who like to sneak around and look for discount codes that are hard coded in message traffic or on websites. They steal those codes, then they sell them to massive web engines, and then they market them outside of the true intent of those codes. So how do you become reminded of the codes? Well, the first and main source is, and the intent of it is, you listen to my podcast, you're reminded through the episodes of who the show sponsors are and what the listener codes are. You will also find them in my story. So on Instagram and Facebook, as I randomly post stories advertising for those gracious sponsors that are back in this show, I will post the codes in those stories. They'll be available for 24 hours on a story, and then they go away. The story does. The discounts will not. Do I have a couple more coming? Maybe. Do they have something to do with potentially the camo brand that I prefer, that I back and I promote? Probably. And then, of course, my favorite saddle company. I can tell you for a fact that Latitude Outdoors is going to back this show. I just don't have a code yet. Badlands? I love Badlands. Will they be backing the Limitless podcast? That is yet to be determined. We can cross our fingers and pray about it. All right. So that's the sponsor wrap. I don't want to belabor that anymore because we have other things that we need to discuss before you run out of a beverage or you run out of bandwidth of listening to my voice solo on this episode, or maybe I just get tired of talking. I am getting a little parched. So what are we going to publish, in what form, and at what velocity? Hold on, I'm going to take a drink of this Wilderness Athlete Hero Mix I've got. Man, that stuff is so good. I should have I mix a couple of flavors together, and I should have jotted that down in the notes for you guys. I'll share it somewhere somehow. So first thing that we're going to talk about is, when will our episodes, when can you expect them? When will they be released? Main episodes will traditionally be released on Wednesdays. I will publish them at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do that so that the East Coasters get it first thing in the morning, and then everybody else picks them up throughout the day. We will also have, and when we say episodes, the main episodes, that's going to encompass like today's main episode. Or if we're going to host a company, or if we're going to host a guest on a specific topic for gear, or maybe we have an ultra runner. Hint, hint, a buddy of mine out in Oregon who's a competitive kayak fisherman and an ultra runner, 100% having him on the show. We're going to have Zinger Fletches on the show. They would be a major episode, standard Wednesday episode. We're going to have hunt series. Hunt series are going to be series. They're going to be a lot of fun. They might be a 2-part series. They could be a 6-part series. For example, we are soon to publish a 2-part series with a good friend of mine, Michael Sims, who is going on his first bear hunt. It is an Idaho spring bear hunt. So we already recorded part 1. We're going to publish that here very soon. It will be published on Tuesdays. Hunt series will traditionally be published on Tuesdays. Again, 0400 Eastern Standard Time. We also have plans for another hunt series right now. My friend, good friend, and Christian man, Chris Dunlap, he and I have Idaho archery elk tags, and we're going elk hunting together. Our plan is to provide you with a 6-part hunt series. It will publish once a month. We're shooting for the last Tuesday of every month. We're going to give you a recap of what we have accomplished that entire month in preparation for our elk hunt. Why are we doing that? Well, we look at it this way. We are 2 non-resident hunters going to Idaho, and we both live in different states. I reside in Maryland. Chris resides in Texas. We want to share with you every month what we do together to try to close the gap on our success rate for this hunt, meaning that everything that we do, everything that we discuss, every step that we take, becoming closer and closer to hitting Idaho and going full draw. We want to share that with you. So that will be a 6-part hunt series. You're going to hear a hunt series from backcountry turkey hunting. You're going to hear a hunt series from, maybe I host a fisherman on the show and we're going to do a mini series on certain types of tackle, or maybe we'll do a nutritional series in regards to like backcountry hunting. Hunt series will be the same topic, typically the same guest, that's going to span several episodes. Again, those will publish on Tuesdays. And then I have a third one, and this one's going to be fun. This one is called Waypoints. Waypoints will be, the intention is micro episodes, like 15, 20, 30 minutes tops. What does Merriam-Webster's dictionary have to say about the term or word waypoint? It's recorded that waypoint was first used in the 1880s. And it is defined as an intermediate point on a route or line of travel. It's also defined as a stopping place on a journey. So these waypoints are, again, will be micro topics. It could be me bumping into another hunter or outdoors fanatic in an airport. It could be me running into somebody random in the backcountry at the trailhead. Who knows where? If I bump into a person somewhere outside of my residence and we rip a short session together, that'll be a waypoint. If I go to an expo and I engage with a company or product owner for a short period of time, that will be a waypoint. Maybe it's going to be a specific piece of gear, maybe it's a new piece of gear. Maybe it's my favorite piece of gear. Whatever that might be, those short sessions will be called waypoints. We will publish waypoints whenever we want to. Typically not on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, because Wednesdays are reserved for main episodes. Tuesdays are reserved for hunt series. So Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, we will sprinkle you with random waypoints. I love it. All right. What do we want to talk about next? Where do you find the show? Well, the cool part is Limitless Podcast can be found in multiple locations. First off, all of your major podcast platforms will have the Limitless Podcast available. You will also find it under my Limitless Outdoors website. If you navigate to limitlessoutdoors.com, at the top banner, you'll see a toolbar that goes across the top and it says Limitless Podcast. Click on that. It will take you to the webpage and you will find all of our episode links, everything that you need to know about the Limitless Podcast. You can also find the show on YouTube, again, under Limitless Outdoors. I wanted the Limitless Podcast to be part of Limitless Outdoors because that's who I am. I am Aaron Ritter of Limitless Outdoors, but now I have the Limitless Podcast. So I wanted to make it easy for you to not only associate the two, but that's where you're going to find everything to be limitless on my webpage and on the podcast. So that's how and where you find me. You will find all of the announcements about different episodes, different hunt series, and different waypoints on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page. Not at Limitless Podcast, but at Limitless Outdoors. I'm hoping I'm not confusing you because my intention was to make this really simple and easy. So hopefully it is. How do you contact me? Well, to contact me, you can send me an email to limitless.outdoors@gmail.com. You can contact me via my website. When you're on the website, there's a contact button. It will send an email to me through the website. You can leave me a direct message at Instagram. You can comment on any of the Limitless Podcast posts on Instagram. You can send me a direct message on Facebook. You can make a comment on Limitless Outdoors. You can make comments on YouTube. So speaking of comments, in celebration of this first episode and in recognition of these fantastic companies that are backing and sponsoring the Limitless Podcast, I'm going to kick this off with some giveaways. Now, this is going to be simple. All you have to do is go to YouTube, make sure that you're following my YouTube channel, and make a comment on this first episode. We're going to have 3 prizes. So 3 people will walk away with stuff. The first thing that we will give away, especially being that it is turkey season, is some Phelps turkey diaphragms. If you're not a diaphragm person, I'm sorry, but I have 5 diaphragms from Phelps for you guys. One lucky person. I have the Meat Eater Easy Clucker. I'm using this call this year. Super easy diaphragm to make really good turkey sounds out of. I also have the Phelps Green Viper. Again, I'm using this call this year. Super easy diaphragm to make turkey sounds with. And I have a 3-pack of the Chris Parrish Rain series from Phelps. I have these as well. I have not broke them out of the package. I will be this week. Hopefully, I can make some sounds with these. Now, when I say that with the Easy Clucker and the Green Viper that I can make turkey sounds with them, I don't struggle at all with elk diaphragms. I have struggled for well over a decade on making quality turkey sounds with the diaphragm. It took me a long time to figure out where the calls wanted to be in my palette and how to make decent turkey sounds that will bring a bird in. I have figured that out, but I'm really picky about my diaphragms. I have a few diaphragms from dead end game calls that I really, really like. And I have these from Phelps. So those are the two major brands of diaphragms that I will be using this year. Again, we're giving away 5 of them. 2 of them I have currently played with, I like, and I'm going to be using this year. But whoever's going to win these calls, all you have to do is go leave a comment on YouTube and follow my YouTube channel. So the next is we're going to give away a bag of Hunting Day coffee. This is their bow hunter blend. They brewed this and gave this away for every day at the ATA. It was bottomless coffee. It was amazing. I'm a bold coffee drinker. This is a medium roast. I love this. I can put maybe a couple of heaping scoops into my press rather than normal flat scoops to spice it up and beef it up a little bit. The bow hunter blend is awesome. So giving a bag of this away. And then last but not least, for all you foodies out there, the Love Sauce has given us a sample pack. So there's 4 bottles of sauces in here. And again, all you have to do is go to my YouTube channel, which is Limitless Outdoors. Again, you need to spell this correctly. If you go to YouTube, and man, I wish spell check, sometimes it's just such a benefit and sometimes it's such a pain. When you go on your phone, you go on your computer, or even worse, it's really bad if you go on your smart TV and you put in Limitless Outdoors, it will automatically try to spell it the traditional way. So it doesn't work. You can't get to my channel that way. So you have to make sure that it's spelled correctly in your search bar in order to get to Limitless Outdoors. LIMBITLESS. Go to the Limitless Outdoors YouTube channel. And on this episode, leave me a comment. You can tell me that my show sucks and you still have a comment. You're still in the hat to win product from one of these 3 sponsors. We're giving 1 each away. So I'm going to draw 3 names. And then once I draw those 3 names, I will randomly draw who gets what. So you can leave a comment of, hey, Aaron, Limitless podcast sucks. You still have the potential of winning either package of diaphragms, coffee, or hot sauce. You might get extra points if you say, hey, man, this first episode was the best podcast that I ever heard. Not really, but go ahead and send whatever you think. I'm looking forward to it. So that's it. This is episode 1 of the Limitless podcast. I hope that you're excited as I am. I'm really looking forward to spending my time in front of this mic or clipped in on my DJI mic set, my audio kit, out in the field, out and about, recording content and providing it to all of you. I am here for everybody out there. Whatever knowledge I have, I want to share. Whatever knowledge I don't have, I want to learn and I want to share. I want to provide it for you. I truly believe that knowledge may be power, but sharing knowledge is powerful. God has given me the opportunity to love and spend time in the world that He has created. And I want to share that with all of you. And part of the way that I'm going to share that is through this podcast. I am looking forward to interacting and connecting with all of you that choose to listen to this. Stay tuned because next week we are kicking off the rest of the future with part one hunt series, Michael Sims, Idaho Spring Bear, and episode two is going to be with Justin Oust of the On Point Adventure Food Company. And then we're just going to let her roll and episodes are going to keep on coming in. Thank you for tuning in. Be limitless.